briefly discuss the administrative reforms of Alauddin Khiliji. Ans Administrative reforms of Alauddin Khilji represented an important component of his domestic policy. These were Alauddin Khilji's response to the challenge of recurrent revolts and rebellion against the authority of the Sultan. Alauddin had captured the throne by executing his uncle, so he was in strict need of these reforms to continue with the throne. The major aim behind these reforms was to diminish the chance of rising another Alauddin to challenge his throne. After sitting on throne in circa 1296 CE, Alauddin Khilji came in depth thought to reasons behind recurring revolts and rebellions against the authority of Sultan resulted in 4 conclusions. Presences of excess wealth make people rebellious because they have free time to think about the strengths and weaknesses of the Sultan. The failures of the Sultan to keep a close watch on the activities taking place allow the rebellious elements to gain strength and authority of the Sultan. The practices of using wine were also found to be an important cause because under the influence of wine people forget their real status and start coming under the illusion that the authority could be challenged. Delhi Sultanate under Khilji dynasty matrimonial alliances among noble, it was found to be another important cause of recurring revolts against the Sultan caused through matrimonial alliances. Noble gains the strength to challenge the authority of the Sultan. To counter these causative factors, Sultan Alauddin Khilji issued ordinances famously known as his administrative reforms. Through the first ordinance, Alauddin Khilji took away free grants by various people in form of inam, grant for meritorious service, milk, grant to the man of religion, idrar, grant to poor person, waqf, grant to a religious institution, example mosque. Alauddin Khilji revenue reforms were also directed by taking away the wealth of intermediaries and peasants. Through his second ordinance, Sultan Alauddin Khilji strengthens the spy system. Efficient spies were appointed throughout Sultanate. They were instructed to inform Sultanate about any significant activities taking in areas. In the case of failure, the spy was punished severely. Third ordinance was issued to impose prohibition to set on example. Sultan Alauddin Khilji himself gave up the habit of drinking. According to Barani, the wine pots were brought to the Gate Palace and broken publicity. This ordinance could not be implemented efficiently because people strongly stilling privately at home and the ill effects of drinking continued. Over and above state suffering through the loss of revenue because of this, the ordinance was modifying by Khilji and provision was imposed only on public drinking and drinking in groups. Through his 40th ordinance, Sultan Alauddin Khilji prohibited intermarriage in noble without his prior permission. Social gathering was also prohibited. The gambling practices being used by noble for entertainment were also declared illegal. Administrative reforms. The Turks brought new political ideas and institutions with them, as a result of which transformative changes were witnessed in the Indian political system. The age of political fragmentation had come to an end for the first time in many centuries. A central authority emerged in North India. The military achievements of Turkish rulers carried out the political unification of India. In the beginning, it was limited to northern parts, but gradually peninsular India was also brought under Delhi control. The Turks brought a folio system of administration. Specific departments were maintained by them to handle specific administration responsibilities. Diwan-i-Wazir, Department of Prime Minister and Finance Minister. Diwan-i-Az, Military Department. Diwan-i-Insha, Department of Royal Correspondence. Diwan-i-Risalat, Department of Foreign Affairs. These were the 4 central pillars of the political system established by Turkish rulers. The Turks also brought a new approach to handling administration responsibilities from urban centers. They did not interfere directly in Indian rural life at the local level. The existing institution practices were allowed to continue. The age of secular polity came to an end with the establishment of Turkish rule. The Islamic state system was followed by the Turks. Iqta system was another noble element introduced by Turk in India. It was originally an Arabic practice. The Turks adopted it from Arabs and brought it to India. Under this system, The nobles/military commanders were given the responsibility to the administrator a part of the territory known as Iqta. The holder of Iqta was known as Iqtadar. Imperialistic outlook reemerged in North India as a result of the establishment of Turks. The Sultan organized regular military campaigns to carry out the territorial expansion. Significance of administration reforms. The administration of reforms was highly successful in achieving the intended object because during his long reign, second decade Sultanate remains free from the challenges of revolt. Except for imposing prohibition, other reforms get successful. The peace and stability prevailed in Sultan in his reign, as a result of which the economy grows rapidly.